Reasons to retire in the Philippines or move here and be a digital nomad or just visit here long term. The Philippines, over 7,000 islands. Don't let that confuse you. And anyway, come along while I walk. I'm walking from Escario Street down near a place called Billy's Bar, and I'm walking back to the uptown area of Cebu City. Here in the middle, the central Visayas, what's called central Visayas of the Philippines. Lots of good reasons. As you know, 10 years before I retired, I started researching different areas of the world. Central America, Mexico, Panama, Costa Rica were high on my list. Ecuador came up. I took a magazine called Living Overseas or something over that like that. For many years, there are lots of articles, information about different countries, different cities around the world, and there are many options. What are your priorities? You know, where you're from. What are your priorities? Do you speak other languages? Do you speak Spanish, for instance? I know a little bit of Spanish. Lived in Phoenix, Arizona, and Las Vegas, Nevada for many, many, many years. A lot of Spanish speaking there, but I would have to take a heavy course in that if I was going to live in Panama, Costa Rica. Uh, Belize is English speaking, I understand, but very small country. So small has limitations. Um, Thought I was going to go to Thailand. I studied a lot about Thailand. Thought I was going to go there, and finally decided that the language is going to be a major issue there. And since I've been here in the Philippines, 3 trips, 10 years, lived in 6 different condominiums, different parts of Cebu City, and I've got many friends that have spent and still will spend some time in Thailand. They'll go from the U.S. to Thailand to Philippines for a couple months, back to Thailand for a couple months, back to the U.S., that type of thing. And what I hear over and over and over again is that English is a major issue there. Um, got a friend just going to go here in a few days, go back there, and he's got a girl that he knows there, and he says they communicate with a translator app. And he says English to Thai is pretty good, but Thai to English only works about 50% of the time. So Philippines is English is their second official language. All your official documents are in English. Makes it easy. So English is a major thing. Different English, they've got some different letters in the alphabet. They pronounce different letters differently than we do in many parts of the USA, for instance. So that takes some getting used to. But yeah, English is a major factor for me in the end. Cost of living was a major issue for many, many people. And even though with inflation, the cost of living has risen many places all over the world, um, it's manageable here in the Philippines. You can still find a condo or an apartment for less than 300 US dollars a month, furnished. And so the cost of living, yeah, I have a 1 bedroom, about 460 square meters or square feet, so about 43 square meters, and livable. If I was going to rent something like this in a place I would want to live in America, like Phoenix, one of the Phoenix suburbs, for instance, would probably cost me at least 1,000 more than what I'm a month U.S. What I'm paying here. I'm paying 25,000, about 450 U.S. And yeah, it'd cost me 1,000 more, no doubt, for something like that. There are options here. There's if you want the the most convenience. The condo right next to the mall or connected to the mall costs you a little more. But even I met here in the last month, I've met several people who have just come here for the first time after watching videos and reading books and articles about the Philippines and other nations. They've decided the Philippines might be the place for them, and their initial impression is that yeah, they like it here. And a couple of them have come for the medical and dental, which is much less, even with Medicare and such, and insurance in America with deductibles for the types of medical issues that they had, dental issues. The dental is much cheaper here. So there again, cost of living factors in. The visa system here, it is people from many countries in the world, not all, but many countries in the world can get. You don't have to apply for a visa ahead of time. You get a visa on arrival from the U.S., Canada, most of the Western, I think all the Western, considered Western countries, and many more than that. You just bring your passport. Your passport should it be good for at least another 6 months. And bring your passport, land at the airport, and they'll stamp it with a free, they won't even charge you for a free 30-day tourist visa. And then before that time is up, you can go to an immigration office or have a immigration agent take your passport and go extend it. You can extend it for another month the first time. After that, you can extend it for 2 months at a time. They used to allow you to extend 6 months at a time. They quit that number of reasons. I think primarily because of the Chinese pogos that they kicked out of the country a couple of years ago. A lot of Chinese were coming in on tourist visas, but instead of being tourists, they were working in these Philippine offshore gaming operations. And because of various illegal activities, prostitution, loan sharking, robberies, killings, kidnappings, drug dealing, and different things, they eventually made pogos illegal, and millions of Chinese had to leave the country. And you can continue to extend that visa, that tourist visa, for 36 months, 3 years. You can do that. You can stay in the Philippines on a tourist visa. Then you have to leave, then you can fly back in, start it over again. Now they have been getting a little more strict about long-term stayers. Are you really a tourist? Maybe you should apply for a retirement visa, a 13A, which is a marriage visa. Maybe there are other visas that you should be on instead of the tourist visa. So they're asking a few more questions about that, but not quite so strict. Freedom and safety in a developing country like the Philippines. What do I mean by that? Well, English comes into play because almost any place you go, there's people who speak English who can understand you. Some of them are not, because they don't use English regularly, they're not confident in using it, but there's always somebody around who can speak English and help you. And I've had people come and kind of warn me about different areas. But I walk a lot. I've been walking a lot, day and night, lots of different areas. Initially, I was a little apprehensive in some areas, but now I feel confident walking, maybe a little too confident, walking almost any place. I am aware of my surroundings, and but most of the crime here, and I always get people commenting, oh, the Philippines has a higher rate than X city or country. Well, they have a crime rate, but it's 99% of it is Filipino on Filipino. It is drug related. It is jealousy related. It's political related. During elections, they'll have dozens of people that are running for office shot because they're a bit tribal here. Many parts of the Philippines, a bit tribal, clannish, and families run the run the political system in different areas, different towns, different barangays. And if a new family comes in and tries to move in and take over, and politics is power, is wealth a lot of times, and corruption and wealth. And but it's Filipino on Filipino, and very, very rare that a foreigner, and the foreigners that I read are usually Korean and or Japanese that seem to get in trouble for some strange reason. The last ones I read about, they were, I think, four Koreans or Japanese. They were part of some money laundering gang, money lending gang that would lend money to gamblers, and apparently some kind of somebody knew that they had a lot of money and decided to separate them from their money anyway. The biggest threat to foreigners here, I think, are pickpockets, a relatively non-violent crime. So you want to secure your belongings and be aware of your surroundings. I've had I think 3 different phones pickpocketed, and I got into, in one festival, got into a crushing crowd. I understand now how people die in crowds. And boy, I couldn't move in or out of there, and I lost my wallet and my phone when I finally got out of there. And it's happened a couple other times. My fault. I should have been. So sometimes I don't even carry. If there's going to be a crowd, I know there's going to be a crowd. I don't carry my phone usually, but if I do, I keep it very, very secure. And the one many of you have been waiting for, age is just a number. It really is true. You will find it is tolerated and accepted in this country. I even know I've met many older 50s and 60s Filipino men with much younger girlfriends in their 20s and 30s. And there are some people, obviously, that if the age difference gets too wide, they're a little critical of that. That would be normal, but I've dated a couple girls 10 years younger than me in the U.S., and that was stretching it. That was stretching it with a lot of people. 10 years younger, boy, that's... Anyway, I know people here with in their 60s and 70s with girlfriends, wives in their 20s, 30s, 40s. I just got married. She's there's 23 years difference. She's 23 years younger than me, and we have grown in 6 years of relationship. We've grown into a very good relationship, and yeah, it took me a lot of years to find the right girl right here in the Philippines. There are cultural differences. The younger they are, they're not only cultural differences, the food, the language, the religion, so many different things. They're more family, group oriented. Many of us from the West are more individualistic. The age difference, so their life experience is so much different than ours, just because of their age, and then because of the culture, the country that they were brought up in, how they were brought up, their knowledge of world events and sports, and so many other things. So keep those things in mind. That creates its own challenges. But yeah, boy, they are tolerant, they are friendly. And as I've said in other videos, just because a young girl is friendly, will smile, and will chat with you, doesn't mean she's interested in dating you. A big percentage of the young girls don't want to date an older person, but that still leaves millions of girls that will. First girl I met, I think about 35, 36, and we didn't spend very much time together, but she said, I never had a foreign before. I don't know anything about dating a foreign. So Depends upon if they are, you'll find girls here or guys who have worked overseas, who have uh, worked in the BPO, the call center business, other things where they've had more interaction with foreigners on the phone or traveling, working in other countries, and so yeah, it's just they're friendly, but take your time. Take your time. Don't get tied up real quick here. Climate, weather, environment. I will get a lot of comments. Looking forward to the comments that I get about this. I'm sure I'm going to leave a lot of things out, positive and negative. But yeah, the weather here, climate. I lived in Minnesota, USA, very cold. I never liked the cold. I moved to Phoenix, Arizona area, Las Vegas, Nevada, Los Angeles for a while. And people tell me, "Oh, it's so hot today," and I said, "No, it's not so bad." I lived in the desert where you don't know what heat is until you walk on that scorching, cook an egg on that pavement or sidewalk, and it's a different hot. It's not as hot, and I've met many people from Florida and the southeast USA, for instance, and it can get hotter and more humid there much of the year than it is here in the Philippines. It doesn't snow here. On a very rare occasion up in the mountains, Baguio, for instance, they might get a little bit of a frost, but that's very, very rare. A mile high, like about as high as Denver, Colorado. Uh, but I adapted. It's more humid. It's not as hot as what I'm used to in the desert cities in America. It's more humid. Some days can get a little oppressive. One of the first high-rise condos there, bigger units, a little bit cheaper. I've done videos there. Be sure to subscribe and check out my playlists if you're interested in these kind of videos. We do have issues just like other parts of the world. The number of typhoons, tropical storms that come through here, most of them go north and will hit Luzon, the northern area of Luzon, or the very tip of northern Luzon. Very rare. About 13 years, or yeah, 12, 13 years ago, one typhoon came through the central area of the Philippines, and in 2021, typhoon came through here, did some damage. But it's rare. You can get thunderstorms and rain and that type of thing. Got a little strip mall here. They've got I think like 24-hour fitness or something like that back in there. But yeah, the environment. We've had some recent earthquakes. A little bit kind of a wake-up call for different people. But buildings I thought would fall, very dilapidated buildings. I thought surely they're going to fall, and I looked around and they're all still standing, amazingly. So I mean, you deal with risks all over the world. The last thing I'm going to mention is the expat community. I have, I'm going to get, I always get some comments that I want to stay away from foreigners. I don't want to be around any other foreigners, and that's fine. And I didn't for the first year and a half. I was busy immersing myself in Philippine culture. But there was a point in time where, hey, I would like to chat with somebody with speaks my kind of English and kind of the same background, historical knowledge, all that type of thing. And I found a number of friends. I've got friends from Australia, New Zealand, Finland, many other countries, Canada, many other countries, and friends I never would have met in the USA. So you can meet so many really interesting people here in the Philippines, and different areas have different expat groups and clubs, meet up for coffee or play golf, hike, bowl, all that type of thing. So you can find that type of support, and you can get a lot of good advice. You can get a lot of bad advice. So be careful who you get tied in with. Anyway, I'm nearing what's called the capital area near uptown Cebu City, and I am going to cut this video off. Looking forward to your comments. Safe travels to you all. See you in the next video.